Hi, my name is Cassidy and I don't really know how to start this video off. Let me just start by saying this is not a tea. I guess the most logical explanation is to explain how I got to this place in the first place. So a few days ago actually my husband got a Facebook message at 6 in the morning, and leading up to this point I had been in a terrible mood, just complaining about everything. Everything was stressing me out. Well, I'm just pregnant, I'm just tired, it's January, like there's always, nothing to do in January, February, it's always so cold out, and even though it's like not January, but I'm anticipating January and I'm thinking about January and how boring and cold it is and how I'm affected by the seasons, and I am. So cut to this Facebook message that my husband got at 6 in the morning that was a stupid video that's not even funny, that was sent to Damien from my dad, and it woke me up. And then shortly after that was 6 a.m., 6:15, 6:30, 7 o'clock rolls around, he gets another email and his phone goes bing, and I'm like, shut your phone off. And so he puts his phone on silent mode, but by that point I was already awake. And I laid there and I can't fall back asleep. So I'm not on my phone, I'm not talking to anybody, I'm just doing nothing. And so I go, okay, well, I might as well open the window and watch the sunrise since I'm not falling back to sleep. And I made myself some coffee and I sat in my bed and I watched the sunrise, and I started to notice how many people walk their dogs past my house at 7 in the morning. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with these people? Why are they up on purpose and walking their dog and being cold outside? And that must be freezing and uncomfortable, and why would they do that to themselves? Like, why get up at 6 in the morning? And I just sat for 2 hours. And I finally got to the point where I was like, I can't sit anymore. Like, I realized how nice it was. And then I got up and I showered and washed my hair and looked around my room, and I thought, okay, well, because I don't want to wake up my kids, I'll just start folding laundry. And if you know me, that's like my least favorite thing to do. It was crazy how my mind just like, my mind just kept going until, and I just thought about things until it had nothing left to like think about. Like the dog chasing its tail analogy, until it just stopped, and then my mind wasn't going 1,000 miles a minute after 8 a.m. So I got to get all of that out of the way so that I could be dressed and ready for my day before my kids were even up. And it was so wonderful, and I never thought I would ever say that, because I like the comforts of life, such as sleeping in. So I started folding all my laundry and my kids' laundry, and I sorted all of their laundry. That's 3 children. And I cleaned their rooms, and I vacuumed, and I started doing all these things before noon. And that's so wild. So I started to notice that my mood was better. I was like feeling accomplished, and I was feeling energetic, which is crazy because I'm 7 months pregnant. I remembered this Navy SEAL saying something about, if you want to be a more productive person, make your bed. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to make my bed. And it actually works, and it has this snowball effect. And then I started looking into it. A couple of days go by. I was like, what is this about walking your dog in the morning? So I took my dog for a walk in the morning when the sun first came up. And it wasn't even that cold out, but just getting out into the cold and kind of shocking my system. So I looked into it. And apparently there are 2 camps of people who struggle with motivation. Some people are just hypo-aroused. And those people would benefit greatly from super oxygenated breathing. So this is something along the lines of 2-mode type breathing. This is a way of learning how to self-generate adrenaline. And this is also what you're doing when you're having things like ice baths. Another phenomenon that I have been completely boggled by up till this point, realizing, oh, they're not nuts, they're just smart. These people who go for ice baths, I just think that they're cut from a different cloth. But now, I mean, not now, because I'm busy making a person, but I think that going outside when it's cold outside is totally doable, and what you're doing is you're creating this adrenaline naturally. Same thing with taking like 30 deep breaths and then just pushing all the carbon dioxide out does also that. Apparently it's called the Wim Hof technique, and people in martial arts are supposedly very familiar with this. So learning how to raise your energy and then channel it or compress that energy, and learning how to focus it. And then there's the other camp of people that I kind of occupy both camps. Sometimes I think that I pendulum swing from hypo-aroused to hyper-aroused, and realizing this just makes so much sense, and realizing sometimes I pendulum swing into this camp and I just don't want to do much of anything. So understanding what to do with that is amazing, and how to like hack my brain functions into being like, actually just jump in a cold lake and then do some breathing and then redirect your thought process into a different behavior other than the thing that you like to do, which is nothing. And then I can pendulum swing into another camp, which is the dog chasing its tail, or the monkey mind, which is hyper aroused, which is when your brain just like has too much going on and it's just a gear that's turning. For me, it kind of feels like when you're driving uphill in a muddy puddle, like understanding that needs to be taken down. And so that is what a mindfulness practice does for me and people in this camp. Typically there's like two camps of people, and I think I occupy both. So for people in this camp, learning how to calm your nervous system is going to help you, and you can do that also through breathing. So a physiological sigh is 2 inhales followed by a long exhale. And I didn't realize that I just do this naturally when I'm going to sleep. I remember just laying there and going, I don't know if I could do it on purpose, but it's like I just do that. What that does is it tricks your diaphragm into telling your brain that it tricks your brain into bringing the autonomic nervous system down by perfectly balancing the oxygen and carbon dioxide in your bloodstream. So the brain knows what the body is doing by how fast the diaphragm is moving. So that is why in things like breathing, and I think Tai Chi, I'm not a Tai Chi person, but I'm pretty sure they do breathing exercises. I think I did that a little bit in gymnastics, where you like imagine a ball of energy and you go like, I'm pretty sure that's Tai Chi. I'm pretty sure that's like a move, but don't quote me. And in yoga, I know that yoga is one of the best forms of meditation. I've been doing this unknowingly for people who need to physically stimulate their body in order for their mind to focus. And so what happens is your behavior, even if I don't feel like getting on my mat that day, your behavior, picture it like this is the ball of energy. Your behavior curbs this ball, and then out comes your thoughts after. So this is huge. A lot of people, myself included, waited around for my feelings and my thoughts, which have a place of their own, of course, to govern my behavior. And I keep saying, I'm gonna start running. And I don't run. Do you think I run? I run sometimes. I run every now and again. But that's when I feel like running. And if I'm mildly inconvenienced, then I will not run. And I learned recently that if I just get up and do it, if I set that alarm begrudgingly, I don't feel good about that alarm. I don't like the alarm. But if I set that alarm and I'm up at 6 a.m., because apparently this is what we do now, and apparently I don't just roll over and go back to sleep anymore. My natural circadian rhythm is changing, probably hormone related, but whatever. I set that alarm, I get my boots on, I go outside where it's cold as balls, I take that dog for a walk, I let her sniff other people's dogs, she's happy, and if she's happy, I'm happy, and then my day goes better, and I'm more present, and then that feels really good, and it has a snowball effect. So my actions govern my thoughts and my feelings, and it's like a natural reward system. And so apparently studies show that you have 3 responses to threat: flight, freeze, and moving forward, or fighting, I guess you could. I'm not fighting the walk. I mean, emotionally I am. But it's not something that I enjoy immediately. I enjoy it once I'm already out there. Sort of the same thing as like when you ask yourself, is today the day I'm gonna have a shower? I don't want to wash my hair, it's a lot of work. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. I know some people love showering. But if you're like me, you have to talk yourself into getting in the shower, and then once you're in the shower, you don't want to get out. So putting on your shoes and going outside and taking the dog for a walk, maybe you don't have a dog, maybe you can take your hamster or something, but take yourself for a walk. I'm using a walk as an analogy, okay? I hope that transfers. Studies show that if you move forward or fight, it creates this reward system, this natural reward system in your brain, and your brain is primed to move towards reward. It's what's keeping society going. It's like you don't want to get up and go to work every day, but you do because of the paycheck. Or sometimes you think to yourself, I don't know if you do this, I know I do this, I'll set out a food that I really like to eat in the kitchen, and I'll tell myself I can't have it until the kitchen is clean. I have to clean around the reward, and then at the end I get the reward. Do the thing. Get the Super Mario coin. You know, when you're boing, and then you get the coin. That's the visual I'd like to leave you with. Anyway,